I speak to you today with feelings of profound sorrow. Through the day, I cannot help but feel the weight of history which surrounds us today, alongside the personal grief that all my family are feeling.
Oh, honey, it all started as quiet little whispers behind those massive doors at Clarence's house. You know, the kind of whispers that usually die down with a polite no comment? Yeah, not this time. Suddenly, people who never lose their calm were throwing around words like disaster and catastrophic. And this wasn't about some tabloid photo gone wrong or an awkward wave from the balcony. Oh no, this was about Prince Harry, the golden boy who was supposed to help lead the monarchy into the future, now accused of pulling the entire royal thread apart, stitch by painful stitch. What was meant to be a quiet, hopeful little reunion with his dad, it morphed into a public explosion of royal proportions.
Charles, can we go for a beer? What? Can we go for a beer?
Where?
Accusations flying, paranoia brewing, and the palace officially done. Here's what's wild though. The Crown, the institution that never steps into public drama, suddenly gives permission for insiders to go on record and call him out. That's right, they got the royal go-ahead to spill tea. And guess what lit the fire? Harry's own words. So let's break it down. How did a simple tea meeting with his dad spiral into a royal nightmare with no way back? But before we get into it, make sure you're ready because this story, it's wild. So here's how it started. Harry gets invited to Clarence's house for tea with his father.
Harry, I warn you that your return to Britain for the Well Child Awards is not a homecoming.
The first real face-to-face they'd had in what felt like forever, and everyone was secretly hoping, maybe just maybe, this was the start of something good. A father and son finally sitting down face-to-face, no PR teams, no lawyers, just family. But let's be honest, Harry was lucky to even get that meeting. I mean, this is the same guy who spent years dragging his family in interviews, dropping bombshells in his memoir, and airing every royal secret for the world to binge on Netflix.
Royal drama is boiling over again. And this time, Prince Harry isn't staying silent. Reports claimed
every private talk, every fight, every emotional breakdown that should have stayed behind palace walls, all packaged and sold like a royal reality show. So when King Charles actually opened that door to him after all that, that wasn't just kind, it was practically a miracle. But instead of coming in humble, instead of saying thank you and letting it be a peaceful father-son moment, Harry goes and starts talking about dark forces. Yep, he told his father there were people working against him.
Harry and King Charles's emotional face-to-face meeting reportedly included hugs and tears. According to an insider, the
palace conspiracies, shadow plots, people sabotaging him from the inside, the works, and Charles sitting there like, what in the royal world is happening right now? Did we just time travel back to medieval England? Because let's be real, the king's got enough on his plate, running a monarchy, managing health issues, holding a nation together. And now he's got his son across the table ranting about invisible enemies.
Well, here we are again, folks. Prince Harry, the man who somehow manages to take a bad situation and make it work.
Imagine trying to hold water in your hands, but every time you get a grip, someone punches another hole in your palm. That's Charles right now, trying to keep things together while drama keeps leaking from every direction. And the worst part? This isn't new. This is the pattern. Harry gets a chance to make things right, and somehow, it turns into chaos.
I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in
Take Sentabale, his beloved charity. It was supposed to be his legacy. A beautiful project to help children in Africa. Something real, something pure, something beyond royal life. Except now, people inside that charity are calling it a public relations dumpster fire. Yep, not troubled, not in transition, a full-on disaster. Turns out Harry had this massive fallout with Sandra Chandela, the chairwoman. And before you think maybe she was at fault, everyone describes her as a total class act. Respected, compassionate, the real deal. But between her and Harry, things went nuclear. Words were exchanged, lines were crossed, and poof, years of hard work gone.
He has to, as you say, he has to uphold the traditions of the crown and do what is best for the monarchy. And what's best?
A project that took years to build just crumbled because two people couldn't get along. And this is the recurring theme, isn't it? Friends, charities, colleagues, every bridge burns. And when the smoke clears, Harry's just standing there, wondering why everyone else is the problem. At what point really do you stop and go, wait, maybe it's me? But nope. That moment of reflection never comes.
I want to say that His Majesty has also raised a remarkable
Harry and I had to grow up in,
son.
and I'll do everything I can.
And now, it's not even about bad days or slip-ups anymore. It looks like he's sabotaging his own success, the very platforms meant to help him thrive. The palace couldn't stay silent any longer. They finally said something. One word, just one. Counterproductive. You're thinking, okay, that sounds harmless. Oh, honey, no, that's not boring at all. That's royal code for you've really messed up and we're done pretending otherwise. The palace doesn't toss words around lightly. Every single syllable is reviewed, rewritten, and triple-checked before it leaves those gates. So when they picked counterproductive, that was intentional. Let me remind you of something. Remember when the late Queen responded to that Oprah interview? The one where Harry and Meghan aired everything for the whole world to watch? She could have fought back. She could have dropped receipts, but she didn't. 3 little words. Recollections may vary. That's it. Elegant, lethal, end of conversation. It was genius. No drama, no shouting, just a royal mic drop, and it worked. The world stopped talking because what could you even say to that? Now, this latest counterproductive statement, same energy. When they use that word, they're saying, you're destructive, you're dangerous, we're done. It's a warning wrapped in diplomacy. It's like when your mom suddenly uses your full name, you know you've crossed a line. And yet, here's the shocking twist. Harry actually thinks he's helping. In his mind, he's this hero flying in from California to save the family during their hardest time, but to everyone else, it's giving Count Dracula volunteering at a blood bank. Like, maybe read the room, Harry. He really believes he's stepping up, being the good guy while William and Kate are dealing with health struggles, but that's not how it's landing. The disconnect between what he thinks he's doing and how it's being received is just massive. He's living in Montecito now, of course, his peaceful paradise. The lush gardens, the chicken coops that look like something out of Architectural Digest, those picture-perfect strolls with Meghan and the kids, all smiles and golden hour lighting. But let's be real, if life is that good, why keep shouting it from the rooftops? It's giving that friend on social media who posts daily gym selfies but looks the same 3 years later. If you're really happy, you don't have to keep telling us. We can see it. But Harry, every time he opens his mouth, it sounds like a PR line rehearsed in front of a mirror. I'm here for my charities. I'm spending time with family. This is about my patronages, sweetheart. It's giving damage control, not inner peace. Harry broke down the moment he opened Charles's final inheritance letter. No land, no titles, no heirlooms, just a handwritten note. And that note, it said everything without saying much at all. See, when you're truly content, when you've genuinely moved on, you don't have to announce it. People feel it. But Harry keeps trying to convince the world, and maybe himself, that he's fine. Meanwhile, Charles's patience? Gone. Worn thin by years of public spectacle, tell-all interviews, and family drama broadcast like a never-ending reality show. Finally, the king said enough. He made his decision, and it's historic. Prince Harry would never return to royal life. Not now, not ever. Charles's response shook the palace to its core. Royals don't do public call-outs. It's not their style. The entire royal brand is built on quiet dignity. Never complain, never explain. You take the hit, you smile politely, and you keep walking. But this time, even the king broke that rule. He authorized palace officials to speak out, on record, against his own son. Think about that. Charles literally told his people, go ahead, set the record straight. That doesn't just happen, not in this family. And Charles deeply regrets agreeing to it. Not because he doesn't love his son, he always will, but because he knows now that nothing stays private. Every word becomes content. Every reconciliation becomes another headline. Forgive, and what I will probably always struggle to forgive is that decision made in 2020. This is a family that survives by keeping things discreet. And Harry? He's like a megaphone in a library. William saw this coming years ago. He warned people about his brother's impulsiveness, his need for constant validation, the inability to just let things rest. He wasn't gloating now, but everyone around him knew. He'd been right. No wonder next week will be Harry and Charles's final meeting. 3 details, they say, reveal the truth. When the meeting ended, when the door closed, when the silence began, that was the moment Charles knew. This was over. But Charles still loves him. That's the heartbreak. He'll always love him. He's his son. But love doesn't mean tolerance for endless drama. At some point, even a father has to draw a line in the royal sand. Outside the palace, the world's divided. You've got those who remember Harry as that broken boy walking behind his mother's coffin, the war hero who served, the charming prince who made crowds light up. They look at him now and wonder, what happened? Where did that man go? And then you've got the others, louder every day, who see a millionaire in a California mansion complaining about how tough life is while the rest of the world is struggling to pay rent. They're tired. To them, Harry's "I'm a victim" storyline just doesn't land anymore. Because how can you cry sabotage when you've got Netflix deals, book royalties, and a Montecito estate? And to make matters worse, his team keeps fumbling. Every time they try to deny a rumor, they accidentally confirm it. It's PR 101. And somehow, they keep failing it. The palace, on the other hand, has been mastering image control for centuries. They've played this game longer than Harry's been alive. Every palace statement is strategic, sleek, and devastatingly calm. Meanwhile, every Harry statement sounds like it was written at 2 a.m. by panicked lawyers with a thesaurus. People feel it, that desperation, that exhaustion. And here's where it all comes crashing down. Any chance of Harry returning to royal life? Gone. Not maybe one day, not after time. Gone. There's no half-in, half-out deal. The late Queen already shot that down back in 2020. And after this latest chaos, Charles isn't reopening that door. It's locked forever. If Harry ever shows up at a royal event again, it'll be rare, brief, and controlled within an inch of its life. Every minute planned, every word monitored, no more private chats, no more unguarded moments. Because trust, once it's gone in royal circles, it never comes back. And here's the saddest truth of all. Harry had a chance. It wasn't a grand royal welcome, but the door was cracked open. All he had to do was walk through it quietly, show he'd changed, keep his head down, prove through actions, not words, that things could be different. Instead, he walked in with suspicion, with blame, with bitterness. He accused instead of apologized. He demanded instead of listened. And that was it. The door shut. The monarchy moves on. It always does. That's its nature. It's bigger than any single prince, bigger than any scandal. It endures. But Harry, he's standing outside those palace gates now, staring at a life he once had, convinced he's the hero in his own story, still pointing fingers, still wondering why everyone else walked away, not realizing he's the reason. He had the privilege, the platform, the love of a nation, and he lost it, not because of dark forces, not because of palace plots, but because of the choices he made over and over again. And until he looks in the mirror and sees that truth, until he stops burning bridges and wondering why he's alone, nothing will change. The monarchy will move forward, and Harry, he'll still be on the outside, convinced he's right, while the palace stays silent, dignified, unbothered, just the way it always has.